The president has called to end the temporary protected status of Somalians living in the state of Minnesota. The secretary, Noam, has to actually do that, officially begin that process and handle that job. But when that does happen, is ICE going to be going into what's called Little Mogadishu there on the southeast side of Minneapolis?
Hey, Rob. Good seeing you again. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so, ICE, obviously, we enforce the laws the way they're written, right? And so if someone's temporary protective status is lifted, which it's happened many a times to different various countries and nationalities, but we're ready to take action, and that's what we do, right? When someone's temporary protective status is lifted, they are now illegal aliens. They're here in the country illegally, and we will go ahead and remove those criminal elements out of our neighborhoods.
What was your reaction when you saw the details of the fraud inside of this community and just surreal what we've brought into our country?
One thing for me, Rob, is the fact that when you think about what TPS is actually created for, right, what the asylum process is created for, when you think about how many people take advantage of that, when there are so many individuals that want to come to the United States for a better life, yet there's so many people that criminally come here and use fraud or other fraudulent means to enjoy the American dream, it takes away from those individuals that really want to be here lawfully, right? So we do have to remove those elements out of here. And if temporary protective status is lifted for the Somali community, whether it's Minneapolis, could be Philadelphia, could be anywhere, we're going to go ahead and remove those elements out of our country, because at that point, especially the game here under false pretenses, that's what ICE does as a law enforcement mission. We have to ensure that we remove those people from our communities.
Yeah. Joseph Edlow from USCIS here discussing an investigation that they had into Minneapolis and St. Paul levels of fraud in those two twin cities. Take a listen.
Our officers encountered blatant marriage fraud, visa overstays, people claiming to work at businesses that can't be found, forged documents, abuse of the H-1B visa system, abuse of the F-1 visas, and many other discrepancies. Over the course of the operation, our officers found indication of fraud, non-compliance, or public safety and national security concerns in nearly a little less than 50% of the cases interviewed.
If you run into people like that, is that pretty much a slam dunk? They're out of the country? How does it work?
No, for us, that is a slam dunk, right? Yeah. If we've already had and done our due diligence and we prove the fact that you came here under false pretenses, 100% we're going to remove you. And, Joe made a great point. When you think of the national security threats of, individuals that came here with fraud, they may have come here to enjoy the American dream, but time and time again, I always say ICE was an organization born out of 9/11. They came, 9/11 terrorists came here under fraud pretense anyways, right? So you don't know who the people were letting in. We have to make sure we do our due diligence, go back, look at the ones we let under the last administration. And again, so many people have used fraud in fraudulent circumstances to obtain something that so many people want, to be here in the United States.
Yeah, this is going to sound like a clever question, but he said marriage fraud was one of the first things that he mentioned, which I've heard is rampant in the Somali community. Is anybody immune from that? If there was a congresswoman or somebody that's very important that had committed that, are they immune from this?
No, Rob, nobody's immune from it. We have to look at every case by case. And if fraudulent means were gained or used to gain a benefit, then we have to take all our due diligence. We have to look at it criminally, administratively, and we have to take action on all those cases. No one's immune.
I have no worry. I don't know how they take away my citizenship and deport me, but I don't even know why that's such a scary threat. I'm not the 8-year-old who escaped war anymore. I'm grown. My kids are grown. I can go live wherever I want.
The ICE director didn't come today to play games. No sugarcoating, no soft talk. He came in swinging. And the message? Loud, clear, and honestly terrifying if you're on the wrong side of immigration law. He basically said, if you're violating federal law, if you're abusing the system, if you're caught crossing certain lines, you're done. Immediate consequences. No exceptions. No delays. A cold, blunt warning that sent a shockwave through the entire room. And here's where it gets wild. Ilhan Omar jumps in, thinking she's about to corner him with tough questions. And instead, he flips the script. He pushes back hard, telling her point blank that nobody gets a special pass. Nobody is untouchable. And if someone crosses into illegal territory, the system will move instantly. Suddenly, Omar's tone changes. She's digging, redirecting, try to regain control, because that immediate consequences line, yeah, that hit different. The warning wasn't aimed at her specifically, but the intensity, the way he delivered it, you could feel that tension. She looked like she knew this wasn't the usual gentle, bureaucratic tap dance. This was a direct, confrontational wake-up call. And make no mistake, the IC director wasn't bluffing. He laid down the law with the energy of someone saying, if you're caught violating immigration law, it's over instantly. Not later. Not after debates. Immediately. The whole room froze. Omar included. This wasn't a hearing. This was a warning, and everyone in that chamber heard it loud and clear. Stay with me, because we're breaking down every explosive moment of this clash.